I used to hump my pillow at night, the type of silent prayer to make myself prepare for the light. Me and my cousin Lucy ranked the girls between 1 and 10, and the highest number got to be my pillow's pretend. Now I apologize to every high ranker, but you taught me how to dream, and so I also thank you. I never had the courage to approach you at school. We joked around a lot, and I know you thought I dressed cool, but I was just covering up all the insecurities that came bubbling up. My complexion had me stuck in an emotional rut, like the time you Flavor Flaved me and you played me Yo Chuck. They say you're too black, man, I think I'm too black. Mom, do you think I'm too black? I think I'm too black. I think I'm too black. I think I'm too black. A black, a black, a black, a black. Black Stacey, they call me Black Stacey. I never got to be myself, cause to myself I always was Black Stacey. And polka dots and paisley, a double goose and ballet shoes. You thought it wouldn't faze me, I was Black Stacey. The preacher son from Haiti, who rhymed a lot and always got the dancers at the party. I was Black Stacey. You thought it wouldn't faze me, but it did, cause I was just a kid. I used to use bleaching cream. No Madam CJ Walker walked into my dreams. I dreamt of being white and complimented by you, but the only shiny black thing that you liked was my shoes. Now I apologize for bottling up all the little things you said that warped my head and my gut, even though I always told you not to brag about the fact that your great-grandmother was raped by her slave master. Yeah, I became militant too, so it was fair on every level. I was blacker than you. I turned you on to Malcolm X and Asada Shakur in the three-coated elephant goose with the fur. Had the high top fade with the stack on the side. Had the two-finger ring rag top on the ride. Had the sheepskin named Belly Sue Kango as I watched Fosco chicken and waffle. Black Stacey, they call me Black Stacey. I never got to be myself, cause to myself I always was Black Stacey, and polka dots and paisley, a double goose and ballet shoes. You thought it wouldn't faze me, I was Black Stacey, the preacher son from Haiti, who rhymed a lot and always got the dancers at the party. I was Black Stacey. You thought it wouldn't faze me, but it did, cause I was just a kid. Here's a little message for you. All your baller players got some insecurities too that you could cover up, bling it up, cash and cha-ching it up. Hope no one will bring it up, lock it down and string it up. Or you could share your essence with us, cause everything about you couldn't be rugged and rough. And even though you told a Glock and you're hot in the street, if you dare to share your heart, we'll nod our head to its beat.
Fingers on a swollen hand beside a dented garbage can. A blind man staring at something only he can see. I spotted him like night sky plotted him. Starstruck sits alone, he's at home, rafted in a sea of blackness. 3 fingers on a swollen hand beside a dented garbage can. A blind man staring at something only he can see. I spotted him like night sky plotted him. Starstruck sits alone, he's at home, rafted in a sea of blackness. He rattles his cup just enough to call your bluff. You can't pretend you didn't see him. Catch his smile in the rear view. Out of the blue, his guitar emptying hard. With 3 fingers he plays, praise what he says might scare you. On a swollen hand beside a dented garbage can. A blind man staring at something only he can see. I spotted him like night sky plotted him. Starstruck sits alone, he's at home, rafted in a sea of blackness. He rattles his cup just enough to call your bluff. You can't pretend you didn't see him. Catch his smile in the rear view. Out of the blue, his guitar emptying hard. With 3 fingers he plays, praise what he says might scare you.
Tower praying that I'll disappear. I got another plan, one that requires me to stand.
Nah, I wasn't raised at gunpoint, and I've read too many books to distract me from the mirror when unhappy with my looks. And I ain't got proper diction for the makings of a thug, though I grew up in the ghetto, and my niggas also drugs. And though that may validate me for a spot on MTV, or get me all the airplay that my bank account would need, I was hoping to invest in a lesson that I learned, and I thought this fool would jump me just because it was my turn. I went to an open space cause I knew he wouldn't do it. If somebody there could see him, or somebody else might prove it. And maybe in your eyes, it may seem I got punked out, cause I walked a narrow path, and then went and changed my route. But that openness exposed me to a truth I couldn't find in the clenched fist of my ego, or the confines of my mind, in the hipness of my swagger, or the swagger in my step, or the scowl of my grimace, or the meanness of my rep. Cause you represent a truth, son, that changes by the hour. And when you're open to it, vulnerability is power. And in that shifting form, you'll find a truth that doesn't change. That truth's living proof of the fact that God is strange. Talk to strangers when family fails and friends lead you astray. When Buddha laughs and Jesus weeps and turns out God is gay. As angels and messiahs, love can come in many forms. In the hallways of your projects or the fat girl in your dorm. And when you finally take the time to see what they're about, and perhaps you find them lonely or their wisdom trips you out, maybe you'll find the cycles end, you're back where you began. But come this time around, you'll have someone to hold your hand, who prays for you, who's there for you, who sends you love and light, exposes you to parts of you that you once tried to fight. And come this time around, you choose to walk a different path. You'll embrace what you turned away and cry at what you laughed, cause that's the only way we're gonna make it through this storm, where ignorance is common sense and senselessness the norm, and flags wave high above the truth and the two never touch, and stolen goods are overpriced and freedom costs too much, and no one seems to recognize the symbols come to life. The bitten apple on the screen, and Jesus had a wife, and she was his Messiah, like that stranger may be yours, who holds a subtle knife that carves through worlds like magic doors. And that's what I've been looking for, the bridge from then to now. Was watching BET like, what the fuck, son, this is foul. But that square box don't represent the sphere that we live in. The earth is not a flat screen, I ain't trying to fit in. But this ain't for the underground, this here is for the sun. A seed a stranger gave to me and planted on my tongue. And when I look at you, I know I'm not the only one. As a great man once said, there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Has come. Has come.
In 1972, my mother was rushed from a James Brown concert in order to give birth to me. My style is black hole, most niggas simply sound like earth to me. If hip-hop were the moon, I'd be the first to bleed. Cyclical sacraments of self for all my peers to read. I recite the hues of night with spots of light for you to read by. Have you floating on cloud nine without realizing it's my mind sky. And the ground on which you walk is the tongue with which I talk. I speak the seeds that root the trees of suburbia, New York. City streets can never claim me, that's why I never sound like you. All your niggas claim the streets as if pass through the woods ain't true. You better walk your path, you better do your math, cause your screw face will only make the Buddha laugh. Even if you know your lessons, you don't know the half. But don't take it from me, son, take a bath. ancient zoos to observe caged thought and toss peanuts and P-funk at intellect. And motherfuckers think these are metaphors. I speak what I see. All words and worlds are metaphors of me. My life is authored by the moon, footprints written in soil, the fountain pen of Martian men, noveling human toil. And yes, the soil speaks highly of me. When earth seeds root me, poetry, and reforest forever through recitation. Now, maybe I'm too serious, too little here, too matter, though I'm riddled with the reason of the sun. A stand-up comet with the audience of lungs. This body of laughter, is it with me or at me? You more or less human, though gender's mute. And the punchline has this lifeline at its root. I'm a star, this life's the suburbs I commute. Make daily runs between the sun and earthly loot. And raise my children to the height of light and truth. Meditation, I program my heart to beat breakbeats and hum bass lines on exhalation. I burn 7-day candles that melt into 12-inch circles on my mantle and spin funk like myrrh. And I can fade worlds in and out with my mixing patterns, letting the earth spin as I blend in Saturn. Niggas be like spinning windmills, braiding hair, locking, popping, as the sonic force of the soul keeps the planets rocking. The beat don't stop when soulless matter flows into the cosmos trying to be stars. The beat don't stop when Earth sends out satellites to spy on Saturnites and control Mars. Cause niggas got a peace treaty with Martians, and we be keeping them up to date through sacred gibberish like show enough. And it's on, the beat goes on, the beat goes on, the beat goes. And I roam through the streets of downtown Venus, trying to auction off monuments of Osiris' severed penis. But they don't want no penis in Venus, for androgynous cosmology sets their spirits free. And they neither men nor women be, but they be down with the billion niggas who have yet to see that interplanetary truth is androgynous. And they be sending us shout-outs through shooting stars, and niggas be like, what up? And talking Mars. Cause we are solar, and regardless of how far we roam from home, the universe remains our center, like.
The greatest Americans have not been born yet. They're waiting patiently for the past to die. Please give blood. Those crumbled tablets would share a story with a burning bush. Where is that voice from nowhere to remind us that the holy ground we walk on, purified by native blood, has rooted trees whose fallen leaves now color code a sacred list of demands? Who among us can give translation of autumn hues to morning news? The anchor man thrown overboard has simply rooted us in history's repeating cycle, a nation in its Saturn years that won't acknowledge karma. Where is that voice from nowhere, the ones your prophets spoke of? There are voices from fear, disconnected from their diaphragms, dangling from coffee-covered teeth that spill into our laps and scorch our privates. There are voices from the sides of necks, some already noosed, dangling participles, pronouns running for sentence, serving life in corner offices and ghetto corners. Their voices are the same, dead to themselves, numb to the possibility of truth existing beyond that which they can palm in their hands, period. There are voices of elders, which seem to do no more than damn us to our childish ways, for in many households wisdom no longer comes with age. So where is that voice from nowhere, that burning bush, that passing dove? I hear the voices of generals calling for ammunition, presidents calling for arms, women calling for help. Where is that voice from nowhere, that God of Abraham? Can he be heard over the gunfire, the whiz of passing missiles, the crash of buildings, the cries of children, the crack of bones, the shriek of sirens? Or is that his mighty voice? Your angry God craving the sacrifice of virgin generations, sons degenerate. Your holy books written in red ink on burning sands. Your prayers between rounds do no more than fasten the fate of your children to the hammered truth of your trigger. A truth that mushrooms its darkened cloud over the rest of us, so that we too bear witness to the short-lived fate of his.
Afraid to have someone believe in you? Can you commit to your ideals, even if you think nothing of it? Are you willing to allow others to think the world of it, and of you? Pedagogue of young gods. All slavery ever does is free you. All anyone ever does is an example. All power is collective energy. To abuse the privilege is to sell your soul, and that is to rent with the illusion of owning. We are the landlords. If you misunderstand us, you're dead and deserve your demise. Your dominion is your overthrow. The controllers are controlled. Spread the word, it will save you, and depends on you to be understood. There is no school bell, only nursery. Our heroes reward us with stars, ever still, ever moving. We sing to ourselves in our cars. Music is our sanctuary. Anywhere you put it, it's ours. Our living voice, our living testament. We dream aloud, we scream and shout. Our courage will defeat them. Our struggle will unite us. Our wisdom is ourselves. Our resources our own. Our blood, ocean, our skin, oil. We are mountain and waterfall. They cannot contain us. Their prisons will not restrain us. Their customs will not unname us. We are what they know in their hearts. You guessed it. You knew that. You felt it. You tried to doubt it, denied it, but you knew it. Ain't nobody had to tell you. We had them from the start. A world apart, a world within, ancient and luminous, the before, and the hereafter. We are the essence of laughter, the comforting prayer, the gatekeepers and the street sweepers, a mountain of ports outside of a city of dreams, a bird that prays, yet offers its wingspan to the wind. Things are not as they seem. We hover above while giving the appearance of scurrying below. All is as it should be. We are more than we know, more than we hoped and dreamed. A generation of generators, a power source and supply. The better we learn to live, the better we learn to die. Old as anything, old as everything. We are participants in a ritual older than our collective memory, a marriage of heart and mind, secular and divine. All is as it should be. Slavery carefully bred us. No child of Greece or Rome can behead us. We are ahead of our time. Slavery was simply a state of mind. Hip-hop reminded us of confidence. Overcoming now is simply common sense. You deserve the ice and the riches of Solomon, but don't let warped values turn you into hollow men. And education is the only thing given that cannot be taken. Learn to think for yourself, analyze the forsaken, pimp your fears, surrender to love, dance all night when you need to. Play this song for a thug, let him know ain't no judgment. We all hustle and grind. Any system against us is against the divine. But there's no sense of glory in repenting and repeating their mistakes. You have a greater calling, answering it is all it takes. Take a second to hear this and go back about your day. Know the laws don't govern us, we're governed by what we say. What we think, why we think it, how. What we think, why we think it, how. What we think, why we think it, how. What we think, why we think it, how.